czegoś trzeba było zacząć.
We had to start from something. I basically started from two businesses. One of them was supposed to earn money to pay for the other, for yachts and sails, about which I knew they would be the basis in the future. I simultaneously handled repairs of the first charter yachts and made money by installing auto-gas systems in a small garage, also that I could expand the fleet. As you can see, a shipyard and a large charter fleet grew out of this after a few years. Polish companies are already a world superpower in the shipyard industry. The greatest part of the production goes abroad. Most of the orders for Polish yacht shipyards come from the European Union, from Germany, France, the Netherlands and Scandinavia. This is happening due to the low production costs accompanied by the highest quality. Welcome, my name is Marcin Banasiewicz. I'm the production director in the Northman Yacht Shipyard. Do come in. We're in Węgorzewo, on the northern end of the biggest lake system in Poland. The Northman Yacht Shipyard is located here, the producer of multiple award-winning yachts, recognized all over the world. The Maxus sailing yachts and the Nexus motor yachts. Before we start production, we have to plan this production. It starts when the colleagues from the sales department provide me with a prepared production order. I'm responsible for the creation of a production plan, and I must deal with all these yachts. There are many of them, and believe me, handling 40 yachts and around 100 production processes at once isn't easy. That's why we have to plan and put it all together well. We're in a room in which the management of the entire production processes takes place. You can see a plan behind me. Each of these stripes is one yacht. The model and all the data necessary to build this yacht are marked here. Each yacht is produced in accordance with the specifications, meaning the customer's order. All the items related to how the yacht should look like are specified there, starting from the laminate color, through deck finishing, up to even the tiniest element of equipment. A project enabling the planning of the next stages of production is prepared on the basis of such a detailed order. As soon as the entire project is ready, the lasts are made, from which the forms are created in our shipyard. The entire process begins with the making of the tools for building the yacht. This is not an easy process. It requires very specialist knowledge and a very good staff who are able to manufacture these things. The look of each of the elements on the yacht will depend on it. Several dozen years ago, yachts were produced here in small workshops and yacht shipyards. The small series produced by Polish manufacturers had a simple construction and equipment. The Polish yacht industry today is a dynamic and very well-developed branch of the economy, and Polish yachts compete with the best models in the world. Contemporary Polish yachts have to meet the expectations of the customers, and each order is completed strictly according to the ordering party's specifications. The process begins in our ironworks. Our fittings are made here. We make all of them ourselves. Each element of the yacht is precisely designed. We see the welding post. We weld with TIG, which is a modern welding technique. Each of the elements we handle is bended, cut, grinded and polished. Proper preparation of the steel elements is a very important stage, preceding the works on the creation of the hull. Most yacht shipyards don't produce these elements, but order them from subcontractors. However, this shipyard has its own ironworks, where most of the fittings for the yachts produced here are created on the basis of the sketches and models prepared by the designers. Only the highest quality steel resistant to aging and tough weather conditions is used for their production. The preparation of the product form is currently in progress. The varnishing machine operator has to clean it like a mirror. They have to remove all specks from its form so that the varnished form, when removed, is nice and clean, not having any stains or contaminations. Next, the product will be varnished. An appropriate layer of gel coat will be applied. Then, we'll take measurement in various places. This is mandatory. If this operation is successful, we can apply the mat on it. If there are any small flaws in the form of incorrect, inadequate thickness of the gel coat in some places, this form has to be properly varnished. The preparation of the form and the laminating process is handled in a separate zone specifically prepared for this purpose. Laminating consists of covering the product with a glass fiber mat and saturating it with a special synthetic resin. Resins used for laminating are flammable, and inhaling the vapors created during the laminating process can be very dangerous. This is why the crew in this zone has to work in special masks and wear protective clothing. The workers manually apply subsequent layers of laminate. The resin is applied and then squeezed into the fabric with the use of rollers. The point is that the resin has to perfectly saturate the layer of the glass fiber structure. We've got here a finished product which went out to the laminates department and is now at the gluing department. This is the Maxus 26 deck. It already has a full mat diagram placed. It's also equipped with reinforcements, which will later on be used for fastening all the fittings. We've prepared this product to unform it, meaning remove it from the form. You can say that unforming goes pretty well. The waxes were applied properly, and in a moment we'll blow compressed air inside the form and hoist it up. In order for the laminate to reach appropriate stiffness and durability, the lamination process is often supported by vacuum pumps, which help press subsequent layers and get rid of air bubbles. A well-made laminate is a very durable and resistant material. This is the basic method of building contemporary yachts. Now we see how the varnished, unformed product looks like. How important are all the nuances, details, which we have completed before. How important it is that the person who laminated it did all the tasks very carefully, so that everything's filled perfectly. There are various embossed areas ready for windows, which we will cut out later. The anti-slip surfaces on the deck are already prepared. This is a ready sailing yacht deck. After unforming the product, excess laminate, which is covering the surface, has to be cut off. After completing this task, you can proceed with the control of the product. In a moment, the edges will be cut off and all the necessary holes will be carved. Then the workers will prepare the surface for gluing the roof lining, on which the wire harness is located. Our hull's ready, unformed from the form. We've transported it with the hoists to the gluing department, and we are going to put it on the prepared surface now. This is where the gluing process will take place. Before this process begins, we have to level this bed, profile the hull, and only then can we glue the product on the ready bed. The hull has to be perfectly compliant with the project. Leveling and profiling the hull is the most important thing after removing it from the form. Laminate with such a surface bends and twists. You should set its parameters in compliance with the documentation and glue the reinforcements, bracing, bulkheads, or as in this case, a bottom pad in the specified places. The hull will get its full stiffness only after gluing the building elements and connecting them with the deck laminates. Before a yacht is made, first its concept has to be created. We get an outline of such a yacht, how it's supposed to look like, from our designer, who currently is Jacek Daszkiewicz. We get such an image in 3D. When the first drawings of such a yacht are ready, we are able to compare it to the previous projects and to the trusted, or not, technical solutions. As soon as we get full acceptance, we proceed to drawing the yacht in full detail. We're in the yacht structure department. The yacht we can see is the Maxus 33, the biggest of the yachts we produce, in which the partitions and separate elements were placed in the bottom pad, which you've already seen during the previous stages. We can build such a yacht in any color. This is water-resistant plywood covered in HPL laminate, much more resistant than natural veneers. Finishing this yacht will begin after gluing the entire hull with the deck.
kadłuba z pokładem.
All the structure elements are made here, in the carpentry shop. It's here where the material is prepared. The water-resistant plywood boards are glued with the HPL laminate imitating the type of wood chosen by the customers. HPL doesn't differ visually from natural veneers. It's more durable and resistant to moisture. The structural elements of yachts are milled, cut and painted in compliance with the specifications ordered by the customers and then mounted on the hull. You can see a prepared deck, which is transported with a crane to the post where it'll be prepared for gluing.
Ciężkie, że nie jesteśmy w stanie go unieść.
It's too heavy for us to lift it. The edges will be polished, their connection places will be marked out, and it'll soon go back to the post here to be glued.
I zaraz wróci na stanowisko tutaj do sklejenia całości.
Connecting the deck with the hull will be done by applying a layer of glue and squeezing these elements against one another.
Tych elementów do siebie.
Before connecting the deck, let's visit the electricians. The wire harnesses are made here and various devices are prepared for mounting. Contemporary yachts must be safe and comfortable. That's why they are equipped with more and more devices, from lighting through navigation and measurement devices up to sanitary installations. All of these require electricity. Electrical harnesses are mounted during the gluing and on the stage of mounting the hull structure. Here, most of them are already in place.
Teraz będziecie mogli zobaczyć.
Now you'll be able to see how the connection of a deck with a hull looks like on a partially furnished yacht, Maxus 33. The deck is fully fitted. The deck windows' 4 hatches are mounted there. The wires are there and so is the roof lining. Some of the elements are already furnished. The elements are fitted. Right now we'll place the control points next to the connection of these two elements.
Przy łączeniu tych dwóch elementów obecnie opuszczamy pokład.
We are currently lowering the deck to the hull. As you can see, these are complete elements ready to be put together and form a yacht. The yacht's initially fitted. The mounting of most of the structure is complete. It's time for the upholstery. It's here where the fillings and upholstery of bunks, seats, supports and cushions are made according to the client's liking. The elements of the roof lining and other internal upholstered surfaces are also prepared here. Modern synthetic materials are used for the production of upholsteries. These materials are resistant to dirt and to moisture, pleasant to the touch and exceptionally durable. The next stage is the final mounting. This is the final stage of yacht building. The previously handled electrical, hydraulic, sanitary systems have to be connected with appropriate devices in compliance with the order specifications. In sea yachts, these are often advanced navigation systems, allowing to steer the yacht in any weather conditions. Modern galleys equipped with refrigerators, freezers and ovens, stationary engines, power generations and solar panels, as well as dozens of other systems allowing to sail safely and comfortably. In the case of inland yachts, the list of devices is much more modest. When sailing on lakes, you'll call port almost every evening. The sea and the inland define the various needs of the sailors. There is an absolutely universal problem though. Both at sea and inland, the weather factor is very important. The yacht has to be tight and dry inside.
Po umieszczeniu jachtu
After placing the yacht in a pool, we are able to check its tightness from the bottom, from the hull side, as well as from the deck side, using a sprinkling machine. We simultaneously check the installations, window tightness, the tightness of all installation connections, the operation of all devices mounted on the yacht. Thanks to this test, we are able to check the yacht here and not at the customer's premises. Let's say 100 or 1,000 kilometers away from the shipyard, which makes us save on a lot of the costs. The water test in a pool and with sprinkling machine is the final form of quality control. If the yacht passes all checks, the production process can be considered as successfully completed. However, in practice, the final quality control is done by the client. It's the sailor who has to check if the yacht is comfortable and dry, if it sails well and is user-friendly, if it reacts to the rudder correctly, and if it copes well with bad weather. We are very lucky today. A very unusual sailor came to visit us. Szymon Kuczyński sailed round the world in the smallest 6-meter yacht produced by Northman. Atlantic Puffin is one of the smallest yachts which sails through all of the oceans. For me, it was important that I could visit the production site and take part in building the yacht, not just get the final products and then, when at sea, start wondering how it works. A sea sailor has to repair everything by himself, so it's very important to know where a given screw is located, what type of screw it is, and which wrench you need to use. Most importantly, these are good quality boats, from the very beginning designed for sailing, not only inland but also in the coastal or sea zones. Apart from that, the atmosphere is great here. That's why my Atlantic Puffin Maxus 22, a small but very much oceanic boat, was built here. The boat is after completing a voyage around the world, and we actually haven't done any constructional changes after returning from the trip. The boat survived the previous voyage in very good condition. In 3 weeks, the boat is setting off for another voyage around the world. When I turned 40, I had the chance to get here from a totally different line of business. I could barely tell the difference between a bow and a stern, and my boss said, "We don't build spaceships here, so you'll just be fine." And that's how it started. We built 67 units in the first year, 88 in the second, and so it was growing and growing. Now we make almost 150. We implement a new type of yacht each year. These are constant challenges, new issues we have to deal with, including electronics, ballasting sails. These are modern propulsion solutions for these units. A lot of novelties which don't let us get bored at work. People who work at our shipyard are outstanding persons. They are able to make all equipment for these vessels, and this is priceless. The people who make these yachts are also people I've met in my path. They often share my passion related to boating, to sailing. Just as myself, these people have learned how to build yachts from scratch. We've passed a very long and difficult road. We've had the chance of beginning when sailing was being born and developed along with us. In yacht building, the most important things are precision and the awareness that the final user is doing an extreme sport. The conditions on water vary. Just as in the mountains, the weather can change quickly. We have to make this yacht solid. This is the key issue. The unit has to be designed properly, has to be safe and produced correctly. So we have fun and sport and safety here. The most important are heart, passion and commitment. What makes me happy in my work? The results. The results of plans, which first are made on paper, somewhere on napkins at home. I calculate something on my computer and then I see the result.